What's up, family? Familia, sending love. I am in Berlin and felt to record a video this morning. I want to start by reading a poem that I wrote yesterday that feels like it's really at the core of what I want to share in this video. So the poem goes like this. I don't need to know what you are to know what you are. I don't need to know what you are to know what you are. I do know you, my love. I know you most intimately. The knowingness and the unknowingness kiss and dance and make love and climax one another into ever vaster flowerings of heart realization. Heart is now. Heart knows and unknows and is not bound by either. I love you. I love you. So, yeah, what this poem is pointing toward is the dance of knowingness and unknowingness, the way in which we, on one hand, have no idea what anything is. We don't know what the world is. We don't know what other people are. We don't know if anything actually exists. In a profound sense, we only know this instantaneous flash of immediacy, this instantaneous flash of pixelation in our immediate field of experience. That's all we ever come in contact with. And staying with that fact, staying with that effortlessly effulging juiciness of spontaneous, instantaneous display here and now can be very liberating. And going into that unknowingness can be very liberating. And yet, unknowingness is incomplete without the knowingness. This is kind of like the dance of emptiness and form. The unknowingness is more like the emptiness, the knowingness is more like the formfulness. And in Zen, they say, what is the sound of one hand clapping? And one interpretation of this is that they're saying that if there was really only emptiness, if there was only this one hand clapping, it wouldn't make a sound. It would just be pure silence. Whereas when you have both sides of the yin and yang, when you have the emptiness and the formfulness, which are really, there is no actual dichotomy. They're just one seamless happening. But when you have both those elements, that is when you get the symphony. That is when you get the symphony of life. That is when you get all this infinite artistry that we typically think of as, my human life. And the knowingness is really, really precious. That's what was coming through for me yesterday. I've been experiencing this kind of release into unknowing in recent weeks and made a lot of videos from that space and have perhaps been overemphasizing the unknowingness, which is as it is. It's beautiful to emphasize that and point at that. And yet, I just really wanted to speak to the preciousness of the knowingness and the pure intimacy and the way that we do know what this is. We're utterly intimate with this that we call life. We may not be ever be able to pin it down or put it in a box. It has this infinite quality. It has this quality of bottomless mystery, bottomless mystery that does not ever allow us to put it in a box in any final sense. And yet we are totally intimate with it. As the first line in the poem went, I don't need to know what you are to know what you are. I don't need to know what my daughter is to know what she is. I can see her total mystery, her total infinity, that I could never pin her down in any sort of construct or structure or name that can't contain what she is. And yet I do. I do know her. I know her with utter intimacy. I know her through my heart. I know the soul signature dancingness that is hers alone. I know the flavor that emanates from her. I know her smile. I know the softness of her hand in mine. I know what it feels like when she rests her head on my chest and I read a story to her. I know what it feels like when I weep just looking at her smile, looking into her eyes because it is so beautiful and it touches my heart. And in those moments where the heart cracks open and there's just this feeling of grace, those are the moments where I personally feel um, the closest to the essence, the closest to the truth of what we are, even if in another sense I see that no moment is any closer to truth than any other moment, because truth is all there is in one sense, and in another sense, there is no truth that could ever be stated or pinned down or structuralized as any type of intellectual concept, philosophy, or ideology. And yet, we are so intimate with the living truth of experience, the living truth of this thusness, this suchness, this sparkling poetry straight from the heart of pure intelligence, sky-like vastness. I mean, what is this that we're experiencing? It's astounding that it can seem so ordinary, and yet it is miraculous fullness, miraculous, boundless fullness. And it's so intimate and it's so full of these forms. And even if we may not know in any final sense what these forms and contours are, we do know them so intimately. We're with them. We are them. We dance with them. We all move together. We are all that substance. We're all waves of the one ocean. We're all modulations of the one chorus, the one song. And and we do know it. We know grace. We know love. We know this unspeakable intimacy and innocence of being, and being together here. We know these incredibly poignant ways of relating to one another and relating to this mystery. We do know that. And so, yeah, what the poem speaks to is how the knowingness and unknowingness, they kiss, they dance, they make love with one another. There, there's no need to negate anything. There's no need to negate any sense of knowingness. The unknowingness and the knowingness, they just increasingly melt into each other. And again, you could say they dance, they make love, and they climax one another into ever vaster flowerings of heart realization, as the poem says. Realizations of the heart that cannot be said, the core of what this is, the coreless core, the gateless gate, the pathless path, the conditionless condition of what cannot be said, yet is so unspeakably precious, is beyond known or unknown, beyond duality or non-duality, beyond form or emptiness, closer and simpler, closer and simpler. A pure love, a pure grace that includes everything, includes every expression, any way that this can look. If unconditional freedom were required to look any particular way, it would not be unconditionally free. So all expressions are valid. All expressions are that. All expressions are pure suchness, pure miraculousness, pure Satchitananda, if you want to use flowery, ancient words. Just this, just this right here, life, this immediacy right here, what we call life, your immediate experience now, it shines forth as all of this unknown poetry that we simultaneously do know with such intimacy. We can know it and we do know it with bottomless, bottomless intimacy. I mean, the degree to which we can taste what this is immeasurable, immeasurable. And so, it was important for me yesterday to honor both the knowingness and the unknowingness and what is beyond either, what is simpler than either, and to not feel like I need to negate what I know, what my heart knows, what my heart feels, including all of my human feelings and human knowings about, navigating the conventional world, navigating life. Sure, I can also see the unknowingness and see that those perspectives, no perspective can pin down or contain in any final sense this infinity that is here. And yet all of those shades of knowingness and tastingness and knowing by being, those are those are all still there and they're beautiful. They're beautiful. So yeah, it was kind of a reclamation of, you know, no, you you non-dual tricksters, you won't tell me that my heart does not know grace. You won't tell me that my heart does not know love. You won't tell me that my heart does not know my daughter and my wife, and my family and my friends and this world. It does. It does, and I do. It does, and I do. We know this place because we are this place. We know this life because we are this life. We know this aliveness most intimately because we are this aliveness. And yes, it's also incredibly gorgeous, beautiful, and liberating to see the total unknowingness, the sense in which we have no idea what this is. And yet, we don't need to fixate either. We don't need to fixate either. There's a deeper release, a deeper relaxation, a deeper settling in that allows both the knowingness and the unknowingness and that which is beyond either and simpler than either and cannot be contained in any duality or any expression of non-duality. So thank you for listening. Much love, much peace, much joy, bountiful, bountiful blessings. Wish to you, my friend, to you and your family and friends. Take good care. I love you. Take good care. Thank you.